In 2022, a man missing for 29 years knocked on a stranger's door in rural Ohio, carrying a wooden box full of journals, diagrams, and evidence that it shouldn't exist. His name was Mike Madman Markham. The last time anybody saw him was 1997. That night, he stepped into a machine that he built in his own garage and vanished. When investigators reached his property, they found a garage that had burned to the ground. Melted copper, destroyed transformers, and a 6-foot circular burn pattern scorched into the concrete. No body, no remains, just a handwritten note inside of a metal box that read, "It's not about time, it's how you see things." For 3 decades, the world assumed that he was dead. But Madman Markham came back, older, exhausted, and carrying proof. Not of time travel, but of something that makes time travel look like a children's story. What he discovered during those 29 missing years is why you want to hear this story from the beginning.
Woo! Hell yeah.
Ooh.
That's badass, son.
Or claims from an American soldier who claimed to be from year 2036.
Nice.
To the point.
That's right.
A man who allegedly appeared in Kyiv, Ukraine in 2006, claimed to be from the year 1958. Finally, the time travel episode.
Time travel,
So-
time glitches, anything to do with weird
Blipping out of the universe to another
time
one.
anomalies.
Yeah, the time, the fourth dimension that we can't actually interact with. I guess I'll start since Lane has a story to tell. Apparently, that is similar to the story I'm about to tell.
Yeah.
So imagine this. So in the year of 1998, there was a online persona. Whoever he was, basically, his name was. He claimed to be John Titter, or Titer, depending on what people pronounce that name.
Titor.
Or as his, username on the communications and on internet forums between, 1998 and 2001, time travel _0. He claimed to be an American military time traveler from the year 2036.
Right.
The communications appeared most prominently on the Time Travel Institute, an internet forum dedicated to discussing time travel and fringe science in that same year. He made a various amount of posts, aspects about time travel, and described future calamitous events, including a global nuclear war that he predicted would take place in 2015. I don't think I ever saw a nuclear war, so I think he's kind of bullshit.
Right. He did have explanations for that, though. There was explanations made, though. He was looking for...
This story
Yep.
has fascinated countless internet communities, like countless.
Yeah.
But the increasing inaccuracy of these
Right.
predictions, right?
Mm-hmm.
It led to many people, viewing it with skepticism and trying to discover who created it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
There was this 2009 investigation that suggested that the affair was a hoax started by Larry Haber. I think that's how you pronounce his name. A Florida entertainment lawyer, or one of his brothers, John Rick, not to be confused with John Wick. Oh yeah, I forgot Haber was also his last name, so I don't know why he has a Rick in the middle of his name. Or Haber. And they had careers in computers and information technology. But they have denied these reports. And no one has publicly claimed to be the originator of the Titter post. So, what is your idea, Lane? What is your thoughts? You was about to say something.
So how I know about the John Teeter story is, like I said, I grew up. There was this famous radio thing that it was called Coast to Coast with Art Bell, and it was phenomenal.
Oh.
I grew up listening to it my whole life. Like my first ever third shift job that I ever worked. He was on the West Coast. He was in Arizona, is where his home base was, and so it would come on here at like midnight on Saturday nights, right when we're starting. And here's a little catch for you why I wanted to do this around the midnight area on Saturday nights. It goes back to Art Bell. It's a famous time slot that he'd take you through your second half of your weekend. Saturday nights, he would run the program. It's like 4 to 6 hour program every night. And he would pick a topic, and then he would take phone calls. People that knew anything about the topic, participated in the topic, or was actively in it. And he did a time travel thing. He's always fascinated with time travel. And that it goes to my story that I was talking about in the intro, and then also yours. But John had made a bunch of posts online, so they were actively looking for him. And Art he's got tentacles and investigators across the United States, and they found who claimed to be John.
Yeah.
He was looking for a computer part for a computer, like one of the very first processors and computers that had ever been created. It was one of the first ones, or first top 3. And what was so specific about this processor, it was the first one that could ever do a specific, I don't remember what the specific thing was. I can't remember off the top of my head. But it's placed significant because he had time traveled in his story. He had time traveled from the future and came back to our timeline to get one of these processors that had been untampered with, because it was the only thing that could fix their problem of, like, they were running old tech in the future because it was the only thing left. Because the state of the world was so bad. They were running old tech to try to undo something and so he had to come back to try to find one. So he was making time stops backwards through time until he could find one. Because the smaller jump you make, according to him, the smaller jump you make, the smaller ripple that it has an effect. So he was going back in increments to see until he could find this piece and this part. That's what I remember about the John Teeter story. He had made posts everywhere, specifically looking for this part, looking for this computer, and once they figured out and he claimed to be a time travel, that's when he started making all these predictions, this, that, and the other. The claim is, or the thing is, would any of those have happened that he saw in his future if he would have found the part and changed it? The nuclear war, would it have ever happened if he'd have stopped it? If he'd have found the part and they'd have fixed it? Would all these calamities and catastrophes, because I think he talked about a civil war or something too, maybe, or I remember somebody else, would they have happened if they could have fixed that in the future and undid it? So, or he was from a different timeline and came into our timeline. I think it's all pretty fascinating, regardless of how you
that
do
is
it.
possible, to be fair.
Yeah.
Because we don't know about time itself.
Right. So
like,
go ahead.
There could not be a past. There could just be this alternate timeline dimension, or temporal space,
Right.
or something like that.
Oh, I just watched this today and I can't remember what they called that. Oh crap! Did I erase that video? Go ahead. Somebody.
So,
Yeah.
but looking at the story though,
Yeah.
looking at the story that we just talked about, he has made some weird claims, such as claiming that Russia would eventually save this country and the lives of millions of Americans. I don't believe that one bit.
Right.
Unless his alternate dimension or timeline has fucking, I don't know, a superhero as the Russian leader. I doubt it. But like,
Yep.
it is very interesting now. It's very interesting to look back at this and like trying to figure out what is true, what is false.
Are there ripples in time? Time dilation's good. Well, one of the famous people on the planet also had his own theory on time travel. Mr. Albert Einstein
Ooh.
said that time travel to the future is possible through high-speed travel or immense gravity, which slows time related to the observer. Basically saying if you're at an object that's moving at relatively close to the speed of light, everything around you will slow down. So it's basically not really time travel. It's more like you're not aging. It's like 1 second you is like 10 years on real world or something like that.
Right. That's time dilation,
Yeah,
basically.
it's time
Yeah,
dilation.
yeah. So
That was
basically, if
his
you're
theory.
Wally West and you're the Flash, you can run over like faster than the speed of light, which is actually kind of impossible for the universe. IRL.
Right.
Then like this man's not aging; he's fucking immortal, basically.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I think the Teeter story is very interesting, just for the fact of his whole mission was to look for this obscure, like computer processor.
Yeah.
And I mean, of all the things, why wouldn't you come back looking for I don't know. I don't know of all the things in the world you could have come back or claimed to come back for, why that was so specific. And why, when people looked into it, it literally is the only processor that can do this specific thing that matched up to his story. I can't really remember exactly what that is. I wish I could. But like I said, I know it just off the top of my head, the story. But I don't know, man. I think time travel in general is pretty fascinating. And there's always been the argument of, does it really exist? Why can't we see like anything? And there's this thing in like subatomic thing, it's called the Gin particles. So if a time machine was like in the Gin particle type thing, if the time machine was part of that, like if I went back in time and gave Andrew a time machine,
Yeah.
and then you moved forward with it, it would be, that time machine would be a loop in itself. So in Nick's world, it would not ever exist, because the time machine would just be in our loop over and over and over. It's what the Gin particle does in itself. It just becomes a time loop in itself. So that's why the outside world never sees it. They're just they're in their own world, and this loop is just happening. So it's very possible, and that could be causing like Mandela effects, which is going to be a cool episode when we get to that. It could be causing all kinds of weird stuff. If it's true, it could explain some stuff. It could just be an added lore and mysteries that have nothing to do with anything. People just being creative. But
I don't know, man.
I
Some
find
of
it
the
very
Mandela effects be
fascinating.
tripping my brain.
I find it very, very
Bad.
fascinating.
Like,
You know- Go ahead.
like, is it time travel, like fucking shit up,
I
or
don't
is
know.
it time dilation? Like, dude, dude, that's just trippy.
I have an interesting thing. What if what hurts time more is our free will? And how we could take different actions and it splits apart the timelines even further. And we think about it.
Yeah. I don't know.
But I got a funny joke though. I got a funny thing to say. The only way I'm gonna believe a motherfucker, alright? The only time I'm gonna believe, if you're from the future, and you said you made this claim back in like, I don't know, 2000 or some shit,
Yeah.
is, I don't know, you say I fucking Donald Trump became president in 2016, 2017.
Yeah.
Fucking, I don't know, Kamala Harris lost in 2024 before you even know who the fuck that person is. Or like, I don't know, let's say fucking COVID happens.
Yeah.
Right.
So
That's
like,
something huge like that does happen.
like
Right.
I need to see shit like that.
It's been done. There's been people who make all kinds of predictions, but they never claim to be time travelers. The people that did claim to be time travelers and they make predictions, were they just lucky guesses, or is there something to it?
That's like the Back to the Future 2
All right. So I'm glad you
Yeah.
brought this up because I got a good one on this.
In the second movie, they go to
It's a gin-
2015.
It's a gin. There's another gin particles story that goes to the root of that. All time travel stories and creativity that we make up have this gin particle.
Yeah. So he goes in 2015, and what was it? The Cubs win. Who wins?
The World Series. Yeah.
World Series. Yeah. And then in 2015 or 14, no 15, they win.
They win. It is the first time in Cub history.
And it's against the same team. Wasn't it the actual match that was in the game?
I don't know that for a fact. But so the gin part of that story is he goes when in the very and no, nothing, nope.
Oh.
But there is such thing as a flux particle that Dr. Brown uses flux capacitor. There is a such thing as a flux particle too, by the way. But no, the gin particle, the gin thing that is related to all time stories, no matter how you break it down, is always something. Is when he goes back in time in the 50s, and he's at the prom. And he's playing Johnny Be Good. And the dude in the background is like, hey, listen to this. Hey, his friend is family's a musician. He's like, listen to this song. This is going to be the next big thing. And holds the radio out and he's playing Johnny Be Good. The guy that he's talking to on the phone is the guy who performed Johnny Be Good. So if Marty McFly had already heard Johnny Be Good, went back in time and created or inspired the guy who created Johnny Be Good, then the song is a paradox in itself. It's the loop. It doesn't really happen.
It doesn't exist if he doesn't go back.
Exactly, but it wouldn't be able to play it to begin with if it never existed. It's a time.
Oh my God!
Yeah. So that
is true.
That's the gin. The only thing that's in that loop is that song. Everything else is just moving through like nothing ever happened.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Because if he doesn't go back and play it, that guy never plays it.
But he cannot play it.
He has to play it for him to hear it.
Yep.
To play it in the future. Oh my
See,
God. Time is so messed up,
that's
bro.
the loop in itself while everything else around it is
like
constantly moving. Yep. That's really cool. And what breaks that down, and they've even explained this on the quantum level, is the quantum superposition. So quantum superposition is a fundamental principle of quantum mechanics where a physical system such as an electron exists in multiple states or configurations simultaneously. They all aspects of this particle exist at the same time until somebody looks at it, and then it becomes one or the other. It's the observer effect. So everything is everything until you're looking at it, and then it's one thing. That's quantum super. They have proven. They have tests that have made this happen.
Oh my God.
So if that's the fact, then it's like time, past, future, present. That's what they say could be all happening at once. Could be doing all this, but yes, it's really crazy how that is. Like the most famous one in that is probably the slit experiment, the double slit experiment. Is like I said, fundamental quantum mechanics demonstration showing that particles and light both behave in waves and particles. So when you take a laser beam and you fire it into a slit in a piece of cardboard at the same time, when the particles are fired, they create interference pattern like wave, but both patterns disappear when you look at them.
Yeah.
The act of passing through the slit actually like creates some kind of time thing with it, where you can see them and you not see them at the same time. Like it's really weird the way stuff works. But that quantum superposition where everything is acting at the same time at once, it could also, like I said, within that time loop, it solves the world's paradoxes for time travel. Because there is one thing within every time travel story that locks it into a loop, which the rest of the world is not observant of. So it could happen.
That's wild.
Yep, it absolutely could happen, and we don't see it. We're not part of the loop, so we have no idea.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
Yeah, it's mind blowing, dude. I love this stuff. I absolutely love it. So I don't know. It's so cool to me to think that science proves that it's very possible on the quantum level, so, all the way up to every paradox that they've come up with can be solved with these particles that act on that level. So I don't know. Pretty
Would
fascinating.
multiverses be tied in with what we're talking about today?
That would be like super. It would be part of like everything existing all at once until you look at it. That would be on a level, a certain level. That would be that phenomenon. So I mean, yeah,
Because it's like people blip in from their universe and blip out and shit.
yeah.
Oh, what the hell?
It's the slip in between how they would do it on purpose, on accident, that in whichever way.
Oh my
interests
god,
me.
that would be so scary. Could you
Right.
imagine just walking into a store and blip out?
Well, I mean,
What the
there's stories of that. There's stories of that. It's the smaller stuff.
This
at
ain't
the
my
end.
damn Walmart.
But
What the hell?
The bigger thing to me is somebody who purposefully sets out to create that.
Oh my
So,
good lord.
I said we're going back to the tie-in with Pika's story there. Art Bell. He loved time travel stories. And he put an open call. So actually, this story starts before even Art Bell. Art Bell hears about Mike through the news, the national news. This man gets arrested for stealing like the cities, the big transformers that hang on power poles, power lines.
Yeah.
He stole a crap ton of these to
Oh my god, just straight off the poles?
no, it was kind of like a center that they were storing
warehouse?
They
Wait
were
a minute,
storing
wait.
them at. They were storing them at to
Are you talking about Mike and Madman Markham?
Madman Markham. Yes, it's one of the most famous, greatest stories ever, dude. So he breaks into this thing and steals all these things. People in his neighborhood start hearing weird noises and stuff from his house and power glitches in the neighborhood, blah 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 blah. And what is going on
Damn,
is
why is my electric bill so high?
took these transformers and created like it started with what is called the Jacob's ladder. And I got some pictures of this, what a Jacob's ladder is, and we're going to break all this down because how it is possible and proven to be possible scientifically. Every scientist that looked at anything that he's ever come up with says that it can work. So this is what a Jacob's ladder is. And so it's basically electrodes. You create two wires, and the wires are trying to get away from each other and attracted at the same time. And it causes them to move up the wires. They bounce in between it or whatever till they get to the end, and then they're pushed into the atmosphere. So this is where his time machine idea sparks from. What would happen if you fired a laser into this electricity? What would happen? And it just his ideas kept growing and growing. And this man had, supposedly, according to him, he had 2 years worth of college level. Never said he went to college. He never said anything. But this man was a genius when it come to electricity. He would break stuff down. He would create stuff. Like, have you ever seen those piggy banks at Walmart or whatever? You buy them at the Dollar General stores. That the piggy banks, you get a little screw on top, so there's a slit in it. You put the money in it, and it adds it up as you put the money in your piggy bank. This man created this in 1995. He's the man who created it. The police found it in his house before they even knew what it was.
Oh my god! So he counted the money.
Yeah,
when he dropped it in there?
He created the mechanism that counted the money by the size of the coins as you're dropping them in piggy banks. He was just a small level genius as far as electronics and stuff. That he would break stuff down, tear stuff apart, and create new stuff with it. So yeah, so this is where
I wish I was that creative.
That's where his idea comes from. Is that Jacob's ladder? So. He needed more power to make bigger machines. He needed more power to build all this, and his ideas kept growing and growing and growing and growing. And your house can only go to so many volts, so he needed more power. So that's where he stole the transformers, stole the electricity to create this machine. The cops show up, and he goes to jail I don't remember exactly what story, but he basically tells the cops right to their faces. I was trying to do this. I need more power to create my time machine. And like I said, the cops look at all the inventions and craziness in his garage, and like I say, it's just really weird. But the news gets out somehow. I can't remember how much time he served, but he was on like 5 years probation, big time. He's like, I don't know what he was actually in, like how long he was in jail for.
Oh my god, what you in for? Oh, I stole a shit ton of transformer
Yeah, I'm
power.
trying to make a time machine, trying to do it. But so the
yeah,
story leaks
murdered
out.
Papaw down the road.
The story leaks out, and Art Bell, like I said, this famous DJ radio show host hears about it and finds him, brings him on the show for the first time. And Art Bell he's a genius level guy too. He's super smart, and he's into everything. He knows a whole lot about electricity and components and stuff like that. So he tests this guy live on the radio, and everything that Art Bell fires at him, he's got an answer for. Everything that he comes up with, Art Bell knows his knowledge enough to be able to verify it live on the radio. And so he starts believing this guy. Starts looking at, well, what's your theory? How do you think you can do this? And and everything that he says makes sense. It's working. Mathematically, it works. Electronically, it works. Everything could work. And he's like, well,
Yeah.
I don't know. I just don't know if it's safe. I don't think you should do this. And he's like, well, it got to a certain level where people from the radio show, the audience, believed in it enough. They started sending this dude money. And he started building bigger and bigger machines. He'd done this twice because the first one, he took it like a year, and then he vanished for 2 years. What happened with that, supposedly, is, well, I don't know that for a fact. I'll leave that part out. But anyway, he vanished for a couple of years, and he just kept building bigger and bigger machines. Then he came back on the show for the second interview. He got millions and millions of funds, and they got a warehouse in Missouri. And all these financial backers and stuff were going in, checking in on him in the warehouse, and he just kept building machine after machine after machine. And he created this machine. His ideas had grown to the level where he was using magnetic fields to mix plasma, and he called it a plasma tornado, that he would then dilate, it would dilate into a fuzzy wave that would be something that he could throw items through, and they would appear 2 or 3 minutes later, 120 up to 120 yards away.
Damn.
He threw nuts and screws and bolts, and all the way it got all the way up to live animals like gerbils and hamsters. And this is in front of witnesses. He had up to 14 people witnessed it in the warehouse because they were financial backers. They would give him money, but like, hey, when you're ready to test this, if you're not there, I'm going to sue you for my money back. So he had up to 14 people standing in this warehouse when they toss a gerbil through, and then, like 2 or 3 minutes later, it would appear on the other side of the warehouse, and they'd have to run and catch it.
What the hell?
But the same, they would.
It would just disappear the minute it touched it.
Yep, it would go through this thing and just vanish. They would put marks and stuff on. He would let people like that was watching this put marks or whatever on objects, pieces of wood. They would sign them and throw them through. 2 or 3 minutes later, it would show up on the opposite end of the. It was always east to west.
He'd about to figure out teleportation.
Yeah, so that's what he thought. It would be time, but it wasn't instantaneous teleportation. There was time between, so it was also time and teleportation. But the thing with the teleportation is because of the Earth's cycle, you couldn't lock down a location. You're just disappearing. The Earth continues to spin, and you're reappearing in the same spot, but that spot is moved. So it would be.
Oh my god!
It went from the bigger his machines.
Get stuck in a wall.
Well, that's possible. That's what the Philadelphia experiment, stuff like that. But yeah, I'm telling you, bro, I love this stuff with a passion. So it got to the point of testing where the machine got so big. What's the logical thing that all crazy people do?
Throw himself in it.
You've done animals, you've done wood, you've done all these objects. It was time for Mike to step through himself.
And it killed him.
And he went through the portal the first time, and he woke up in the field beside the warehouse. He gets up, his head is pounding through his skull. He kind of comes to, looks over, realizes that he's outside. He runs back in, and it's been a year. Supposedly.
Seriously?
This is supposed. He disappeared for a year and reappeared like 150 yards out in the middle of the field beside the warehouse.
Bro, I love this shit. How have I not heard this story? I've heard literally a lot of them, but I've not heard this one before.
It gets crazier.
Damn, a year?
So man, it might have been even 2 years. The first jump could have been even 2 years. So he comes back, like has to rebuild all his stuff because 2 years have passed. They have cleared the warehouse out. Everything's gone. So he calls back to Art Bell, tells them like his story and everything, and immediately people are start giving him money again, financially backing him, blah, 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 all this other stuff. So he gets bigger and bigger stuff. Same tests, same process. So everything starts going the same way it did before, but he's built bigger and bigger. This is where he gets the idea for the plasma tornado. Like it literally is using magnetic forces to spin plasma at a speed where it just becomes a shimmering wave, and that's when you can throw shit through it. But this is on a grand level. Like these machines are like a quarter of the warehouse size machines that are doing this stuff. And
damn,
the whole while along this, he's calling in every couple of months with updates to the show. And finally, like Art tries to talk him out of it. Everybody who does this disappears. Don't do this. Don't do this. And 1997 was the last radio show that he was on with Art Bell. And he told him, tomorrow I'm going to step through this portal. I figured out a way to protect myself, a certain way that you create what is called oh my gosh. I can't think of what it's called. Like the cage. You guys don't know anything about that, like I can't remember what it's called.
Cage.
Yeah, you create this thing around, and it protects you from it when you go through it. It doesn't affect you, so you could actually carry things back with you through time. Like, because you can't take any kind of metal through that stuff; it'll explode, it'll catch on fire. But yeah, you have to carry. I can't remember what it's called.
Kind of like the Terminator. They had to use skin.
Time travel.
But those guys also had to be butt naked. Kind of weird. How does that work? How does it burn clothes but not your skin?
A Faraday cage. Gosh almighty. Faraday cage is a conductive metal enclosure such as copper or aluminum designed to protect electronics and people from external electromagnetic radiation. Static electricity and electrical currents like lightning strikes, or all the way up to by conducting electricity around the outside. It keeps the interior of the shielded, interior of the cage shielded from interference. So he had created a Faraday cage in order to launch himself through it. Mm-hmm. And Art Bell keeps telling him live on radio, I don't think you should do this. I think you should wait until you have, more research, submit it to more scientific. He had scientists and everything come in, like real college major scientists. And this dude, like I said, was in your backyard, on your front porch, smart guy. And all these scientists yeah, this will work. We don't think it's very smart for you to do this, but it mathematically, scientific, everything that you're doing, it's proven it will work. It can work.
He just had the nuts to
just don't
experiment.
Do it, and he did it. So the next day he goes through the portal, and nobody hears a word from him for 29 years. 29 years. Every now and then the idea of time travel comes back up on the Art Bell show. And people start calling in, and he's taking phone calls from people who claim to do all this other stuff. Well, another caller calls in one day and asks Art, he discovered something online about a body that had washed up on shore in 1934 in a metal box in the Pacific Ocean in California. It was it was a metal box, and he had a black square object on him that nobody could identify. But they said it looked like a typewriter type thing. It's like a cell phone. It had a keyboard, a typewriter, a square box. That was all the person inside had on them, inside this cage, and obviously they were dead. So people started speculating that was Madman Mike.
Damn, went too far. Teleported too far into the ocean.
They thought he was dead.
Right.
They just assumed it until the phone rang on the Art Bell show live on the radio, and who was on the other end but Mr. Mike Madman Markham.
Oh my God.
29 years to the day.
I ain't dead, bitch.
He calls Art Bell back. He had woke up in a field in Ohio. This is from Kansas City, Missouri. Kansas City, Kansas. I can't remember which state it was, but he woke up in Ohio. So it's on the east-west parallel, because it's a matter of how many rotations of the Earth before you come back to that exact same spot where you end up. But it's always going to be on the same latitude or longitude line. So he had woke up in Ohio, and it's Fairfield, Ohio. If you line it up, it's on the same parallel as Kansas City, Kansas, or Kansas City, Missouri, whichever one it is. Literally, straight across the board. It lines up perfectly. He woke up in the field with the worst, like he said, that it felt like it was like cancer-level headache pain. He had no idea what the hell. His brain was exploding. He couldn't remember his name. It hurt so bad. He had no ID, no nothing on him. He woke up in the field, started stumbling through this field. And the closer he got to town, the more fuzzy stuff started coming back. He at least remembered his name, whatever, but he had nothing. No money, no nothing. And this is 29 years later. But anyway, so he has to pick up like a bunch of odd jobs, working at a little grocery store, bagging groceries, just anything to try to get bus ticket.
Back home.
Try to get back home, get enough money for a bus ticket to get back home. And he does. He goes to the warehouse, and it's cleaned out again. Has nothing. And so people they were heartbroken. Nobody didn't think they were going to fall for this story again. Didn't know where he'd been. Thought he just stole all this money and disappeared for 29 years, which, let's be honest, it's possible. He just took all these people's money. But the problem is he was actually building machines. People actually saw them with their own eyes inside this warehouse, all this other stuff. So that's where the money was going. So if he would have disappeared for 29 years, it would have been out of possible embarrassment that he couldn't pull it off. So he just hid from all these financial backers, which is possible. I mean, people do that stuff all the time. You steal money from people and you go into hiding. Yes, I mean, in all honesty, that is a possibility. What is more weird about this story is people in Ohio bought this house, the same vicinity that, as I said, he wakes up in the field not knowing nothing. That don't mean that that's where you appeared. He just went to a field and passed out. He woke up in the field. Or these people in Ohio buy this rundown farmhouse, and they're rebuilding it to modernize it, and they're tearing walls out. And inside the walls of this abandoned house that they buy, they find journals and they find boxes with his name on it. And the house had been abandoned. The house had been abandoned for years. In the middle of Ohio, they find all these journals and boxes or whatever. So
This shit's so cool.
It's explaining what time travel actually is. It's not the fact of actually moving through time. It has a lot to do with the way people perceive you.
Yeah.
So in his journals, it was talking about he was still interacting with the world every day, but people started interacting with him less and less and less, like they couldn't see him. So he never went anywhere in his mind for 29 years, but people didn't see him. They couldn't see him. He was there, but he wasn't there. And it was like he would flicker in and out of this reality while being stuck in it. So at some point during that 29 years, he lived in his house and buried all his shit and then vanished and flickered in and out of all this stuff. Well, they call him. He comes and picks up his notebooks and his journals and then disappears again. Nobody has seen him or heard of him since that I know of. It's very possible that he's still alive. It's very possible that he's not. But yeah,
Damn.
so did he rebuild it and do it again, or did he fix it? But that was the thing. He kept saying that time travel is not what we think. It's not about actually moving through time. It's about the perception of the traveler.
Why are we having about the metal bots thing?
The metal
So,
bot,
like,
they never found out. They never found out if it was related or not. The caller just called in and said that he thinks he might have found.
It's
Yeah,
actually
that's why I saved what he looked like to the end, because it's like you think he's some kind of nerdy super genius or something, and you see this dude who just looks like a rocker hippie guy maybe, or just a normal dude, normal-ish.
is that real life Megamind I'm looking at?
I don't know. He was. It's an incredible story.
Honestly, I feel like I have an idea about that metal bots, even if it's
Yeah.
like not proven.
Not a Faraday
It
cage.
could be
like-
possible. He could have done it again with his own resources, possibly.
Yeah.
And then he,
He tried to
Like
go
the
back
dust.
to fix him, to talk to himself or fix himself, and went backwards too far
Yeah,
because
yeah,
he was
yeah.
always moving forward 2 years, 4
Right.
years, and then 29 years. And he finally figured out a way to go back, and that's what happened. And that's why. And the fact that he went back has happened in its own, like we had already discussed earlier, it's happening in its own loop until we get there. And then we look back and we see, 1934, somebody's body was discovered. Until we get past that loop, we can't look back and see it. You see what I'm saying?
1934.
It was something like that. I can't remember exactly what year it was, but and to be honest, it could have been anybody's body in an oil drum or some kind of metal contraption. But the fact that they had something described that was physically that can only be described as either a calculator or a cell phone in their pockets. That's weird, bro. That's weird.
Right, for that
the
time
in
period.
the 20s or 30s, whatever years frame it was. I don't know. That's just the way the article was. I mean, they named the dude didn't have no ID or nothing. He was just John Doe that
Right.
washed up on shore. But they went and looked into this article, Art Bell and his listeners did, and they all came to the conclusion that they think it was Mike. But that doesn't mean anything because they don't
bro.
know. They don't know.
That's diabolical for real.
So that's the Madman Mark story. And like as far as scientists go, everything that he's ever done with electricity, with all these components and all these is proven fact. It can be proven. It will work. Can be done. And then the fact that he supposedly does it and disappears 3 separate times. It's just fascinating to me. That's the realest lore of a story. True or not, I don't know, but
Right.
it's the greatest believable time travel story that I've ever heard of in my entire life. That this dude is just some common dude who goes against the grain, because you got backyard garage inventors all the time creating stuff, and then people come kill them and take their ideas or to hide their ideas when they file for patents. He wasn't trying to file for
what?
he wasn't trying to do no patent. He was just doing the damn thing. He said, "Forget the patents. I'm just doing it."
Water-powered car. Water-powered car.
Why are you with?
Water-powered car.
I don't know what you're even saying. It's not even coming through the mic. It's just a bunch of noise.
Water-powered car.
Yeah.
Go figured I had to
So-
make a water-powered car and died next week.
Any more thoughts on the? What else was you saying about the body and the? Any other thoughts on that? The body in the ocean, or the story
Well,
in general?
For that time period, there shouldn't be no touchpad or anything like that.
Yeah. I mean, even typewriters were big, huge desktop boxes. Big keyboard
Like,
typewriters.
yeah, ginormous.
Like there was telecommunication devices, but this is like real people had to work these operating rooms where you had to transfer phone lines that looked like microphone cables. Big
Right.
and big, huge server room like things. You had to move these. Like, you call the operator. I'm trying to call New York, and they're okay. And they take your phone line and plug it into a New York City box, and then the phone in New York would ring. That's the era of the 20s and 30s. Like that's what technology was back then. Is even telecommunications. So for somebody to come up on shore with something that could be a cell phone or a
box.
calculator in a metal box is what they called it, a metal container, a metal box floated up on shore.
Look, a
It
cardboard
was
box washed up on the
dead,
beach.
a dead body. It's fascinating. Like I said,
Bro went too far.
man. But
Shit.
definitely believable. And it crushed Art Bell too, because he told him not to. Don't do it. Everybody that does this vanishes and disappears. You need to take your idea to universities and to the I mean keep it away from the government, but universities and real scientists across the world, and do that way they can do professional style experiments and stuff with it instead of just throwing cats and chairs and boards and yourself through this thing. This
Oh my
dude,
God, can you imagine getting hit with a random board?
he was just
Oh, what the hell?
throwing stuff through it to see what would happen. And yeah, and instead of doing that stupid stuff, and then it just broke Art Bell's heart that this dude was the real deal, the realest deal that Art Bell had ever heard, disappeared for 29 years. Yeah. And so it was just crazy, dude. Crazy.
No one knows if he's alive or dead.
Or if he was the body that really washed up. That's the story as I know it. It could be more to it after that. I don't know.
Damn. God, dude.
That's
But
interesting.
we got I got another guy that no one knows if he's alive or if he's gone.
Yeah.
Sergey. Oh my God, I can't even pronounce that last name. Panamaran Rinako.
I don't know.
Is he
It's-
from
it's-
Ukraine by any chance?
It's Russian and Ukraine, so there ain't no telling how it's actually pronounced. I would just say.
To send me the name,
he,
I'll try to pronounce it.
Yeah, it's like Pana Ponomarenko. It's like Panorokin. Or some shit. I don't know.
What was his first name? Just call him that.
Sergey.
Sergey. Here we go.
Pono
All right.
Moenko. Pono Moenko.
He arrived in 2006. When
okay.
the police stopped the man, he was wearing a mid-20s outdated clothing.
Like
Carrying a
1920s?
vintage. It outdated in the 1950s, so yeah. Yeah. Clothing carrying a vintage camera. He had handed them his license or his documentation ID, and ended up being from the Soviet Union.
That don't exist anymore.
That doesn't exist no more.
Huh.
And so, yeah, he presented a Soviet area ID card with his birth year listed as 1932, which would have made him 74 years old. Though he appeared much younger, he did have the pictures of the camera. He had a old ass camera that had no wear and tear on it, aging wise. Dude, oh shit. No, go back to that. Okay. He claimed to have been taking photos in the 1950s and saw a bell-shaped object in the sky, and then all of a sudden he was transferred to the future. People claim that he had, while he was taking these photos, he snapped the photo of UFO, and whatever it did, took off, light speed, Einstein's theory, it took him with it. But he has pictures of his ID and everything is all documented.
So they pulled him over for a traffic stop? He was driving or something?
Yeah, I think. Let me go in.
2006, you said that's when it started.
It doesn't say how. Police stopped him. Yeah, it doesn't tell how.
Right. Huh.
Probably just border crossing or something like that.
That's crazy, man. That's crazy.
Let me get this picture pulled up here of this dude's freaking. What the fuck? This is so crazy. So they take him. Can you just save? You're getting on my nerves, bro. They take this man because now he has identification messed up. They take him and they put him in this area where he's claiming all this, shenanigans to them. And turns out, what the fuck? I'm getting annoyed. Here it is. He's this is ID. God, that is so small.
I can zoom. 1950s. Make that out. 1932, 1950s,
Yeah.
56. Man.
So,
And that's what he looked like. I wonder if that's a real picture.
yeah.
That's what he looked like, but he was supposed to be 60 some years old.
He had a girlfriend at the time. And when he showed up in 2006, they took him and put him in this room for questioning because of mishap of a identification. They lock him up, and he is trying to explain to them, showing in his camera. They think he's psychotic until they pull the camera out, and they're like, "We ain't used this camera, or we don't even know how to print these photos." So they have to go and like grab this like old ass shit out of, and they end up printing the photos.
Yeah, develop the photos
that he was taking before he was quote unquote transported to 2006. They locked him in a hospital room, and in a couple days later, surveillance camera shows him walk into this room. No exits, no nothing else. It was just a singular room, and the camera is rolling, and he vanishes. They go in there to check on him, and he's completely gone.
Oh my gosh.
And then a couple years later, they find out that there was a missing persons file written in the 50s of this man that has the same damn name, Sergei Palawala. Documented as missing persons. And then so they're asking around because now he's listed as an escaped convict or whatever.
Yeah.
And they come across the photos, and one of them is him and his girlfriend, and they match it down, and she basically is like, yeah, I knew that guy, and like he kind of just like disappeared. And his girlfriend from the 1950s allegedly claimed he returned briefly to the 70s before disappearing again later, sending her a photo of himself as an older man in front of a futuristic 22. Yeah, this is the crazy part. He sent a letter after disappearing of him and a Kiev skyline in 2050.
2050?
Yeah, so when he disappeared, he had a photo of himself taken in front of these buildings that weren't there yet. And they sent it to his, woman.
Dang. And it was she said it was really him. That's
and
crazy.
It ended up being him.
So he
And
just
this is
kept
the photo.
just kept vanishing in and out, huh?
Yeah.
What about
Now.
the footage? What about the footage of him disappearing, going into the room and disappearing, or the footage of the camera that he had with him that they couldn't develop, or they didn't have, they had to go back and try to develop? Does any of those pictures or camera footage or anything exist?
Yeah, I got some.
That's interesting, dude. I like it.
Now,
Could probably explain that a little bit more, but I'm kind of everywhere. Hang on.
Oh, this is the picture from the 50s.
This was the last photo on his camera before, and then this is the picture from him in the 2050 with a future skyline back there, buildings that don't exist. Um,
Well, at least that place still exists in 2050 if it's real. Our clothes ain't changed a whole lot.
he was only 25 when he vanished.
Right. Yeah, that definitely.
Because when they got him, they asked him what year it was, and he was like, "Oh, it's just year 1958." Oh, it's 2006. What do you mean?
Yeah.
And then they were like, "Oh, his clothes is all wrong."
That's an interesting picture of that side of that building.
Yeah, his camera was a Yasha. Actually, I'm just gonna show you the camera's picture, because Jesus, that is.
It's very triangular shaped with like a sun glare on it. Very triangular shaped Hershey's Kiss looking UFO or something.
Not your average dome thing.
I mean, it's it could be kind of domed if the bottom half is sticking out over the top of it.
That was the camera bro showed up with.
Dang. Yeah, that's crazy, bro.
And like he had pictures from the 50s, like a bunch of them. Like it's kind of cool.
Say made in Poland. Made in Poland.
That camera?
Yeah, it's very cool. Very cool picture. Get the winder on the side. Dang. I never seen a camera that old. That's pretty cool.
This picture right here is the clothes. This picture was taken in the 50s, but this is the clothes he showed up in. Also.
So this is the same outfit he had on when he disappeared?
Yeah.
Or the same outfit that he had
When
on
they got him.
when they got him. Dang, it does kind of look like that same guy in the top photo too.
Yeah. The guy in a
Holy
trench coat.
Holy smokes. Dang. Yeah, same style part in his hair, same facial features.
Just with a mustache.
Yeah. Huh. That's crazy.
then it's okay. Show us his ID.
Because like when he
stamp card.
disappears in like 2006
Yeah,
from the room.
The ID card looks very similar to that bottom picture, but I don't know about that. That one looks a little different.
I wish it went so little.
Yeah, I'm
I didn't know it
zooming
was gonna be
in.
that little.
I'm zooming in quite a bit, but it doesn't. I don't know if
'Cause
that looks like him or not. It's different.
The speculations of what happened was when he time traveled out of a room, he went back to the 70s to his girlfriend, and she said he was acting all paranoid and weirded out, and then he vanished again. And then she got a postcard in the mail from him, apparently in the 2050.
Yeah.
That picture right there.
Yeah, I don't know if it's the same dude in the ID and the bottom picture. I don't know. It's a little iffy to me, but it could be. The guy.
Yeah. When he disappeared again in the 70s after coming back to his woman, he disappeared forever. And then she got a random postcard in the mail of this picture of him standing in front of the city, which was Kiev, that city.
Kiev, Ukraine.
Yeah, with
Kiev.
buildings that aren't even there. Not even.
So we know that Kiev gets rebuilt then by the 2050s after this little war they got going on.
Yeah.
if this picture's from the 2050s.
Bro, it looks like that bottom photo and
So-
him in the 2050 looks so locked.
Yeah.
Just with a beard.
I don't know. It's very interesting.
Yeah, because
And he's
that on
never
this
been-
photo,
that was the last known communication of him was the older man photo with the city line. That was the last
Yeah,
thing anybody
with-
heard.
with on the back of it, it said, "I will be back soon."
And they ain't
So
been back.
there's a
He never
flaw.
came back.
There is a massive flaw about the ID that I have not stated yet.
Yeah.
The date's wrong. His birth date. You see
Yeah.
that Mart M 1932 at the left side?
Yeah.
It looks like it says Mappin, but it actually says Mart in acrylic.
Which one? Which side?
It's the left third layer
Yeah.
line. That says, if I'm not mistaken, that says March. That says
Okay.
March 1932.
Yeah.
That would imply that. That would imply that his year of birth is not June 16th.
Yeah.
That's one anomaly. Another thing I want to call out about his ID. It doesn't actually not match Soviet IDs. The little stamp.
From the 50s?
Yeah, the stamp.
Yeah.
That's just,
I don't think
but
it's
it
as
can't-
dark as the actual stamp.
Hmm.
And it's not as like,
Yeah.
it's a little bit more fuzzy than what an actual stamp would be.
his ID is weird, but the thing is his wife or girlfriend at the time, or whatever it was. Like
Yeah, I don't know.
they went and got her from the photos. Wait,
Yeah.
oh, I didn't even. Did there? Hang on.
Well, the thing about that too is, man, if in her mind this dude just abandoned her, he ran out on her. Why would she? Corroborate any kind of story that he had? He ain't nothing to her. He left her. Why would she? I don't know why she would say he sent me these random pictures or whatever. I don't know. That's kind of makes a little sense to me. I wouldn't. Somebody ran out on me, or I thought they did. I wouldn't say he sent me this picture. I mean, it's
Right.
if it's fact, but I mean, I wouldn't be trying to help his story in any way, shape, or form. I guess, unless
And
I knew he
another
was
thing I'm suspicious
innocent
about.
of murder or something, then I ain't gonna fucking not help somebody. But
Another thing I'm considering I might be sus about is the city photo itself.
yeah, kind of
In
looks like.
250.
Oh, that's the woman.
Yeah, him and his
Yeah.
girl.
Let's see. Let me try. I would have seen something about this. Explained on why the photo of the cities looks sus. Because I'm not a super expert at fucking paying attention
To
to
sum
that
it up,
shit.
1932, he got teleported to 2006, and then went back to the 70s. Was acting all weird with his woman after he found her or whatever.
But don't know how he got back to
And
the
then he-
70s.
Yeah, and then he disappeared again forever. And then a couple years later, she got that postcard of him in the year 2050, apparently,
Hmm.
with the date and message on the back saying "I will be back," but never
Yeah.
came.
Huh.
She was like an old lady when she got the mail. Apparently, it was a real actual envelope mail too.
Hmm.
So bizarre, bro.
It's a good story.
Uh,
Like I said, I'm trying to put my
there it
mind.
is.
I'm trying to wrap my head around this lady, necessarily covering for him, because I mean, he's disappeared on you twice, and you still going to try to help his story in any way, shape, or form. I don't know. That's if that's true. That part of it's true is a little convincing. At least it adds to the story a little bit. But I don't know.
So,
Yeah, I don't know about that skyline being
to, yeah, the
25 more
skyline,
years.
what's
25
that
more years from
skyline's
now.
doing?
Yeah.
That skyline is like, if you look closely, it's just repeating themselves in the background.
So you think it's like Photoshop or something?
Basically, close to it. It's kind of repeating itself if you look at it closely.
Yeah, it's too small and blurry for you to make out too many details, but
It is an interesting story, though.
yeah, these two
Maybe
look very
he went to
similar.
the type of future where everything just repeats itself and nobody has creativity. I don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe he did, time glitched, but the people who claim to be him aren't actually him. Anything's
yeah,
possible. Well, hell, all those people that claim to be him could be alternate hymns. I don't know, but
yeah.
like, as for this story,
I love the story.
I don't know. There's
I
just
think
some
it's
suspicious moments.
yeah, yeah.
Unlike
As a creative
Mad Men
story,
thing.
though, as a creative story, I like it. I like the story, believable or not. I don't know.
1932 and 2050. Yeah. Came across it. I was like, man, that one's gonna be cool. Like, dude, could you imagine just chilling, taking some cool photos, Just, and all of a sudden you're just blipped out of your own timeline?
I have a story, okay?
Yeah,
And believe it
yeah,
or not, it's actually kind of real.
right.
It's not a crazy one, but it goes back to the
I get
the Einstein, high velocity travel, relativistic speeds. So
yeah.
this is astronaut, and funnily enough, his first name's also Sergey, same spelling, and his last name was Klakalev. But yeah, this guy was a Russian astronaut, and he is often cited as the world's most prolific time traveler because he spent like over 800 days in orbit,
Right,
which means he experienced like significant gravitational time dilation.
right.
God, that'd be a long time.
And due to this, high velocity travel, time moved like slightly slower for him. It didn't make him that much younger compared to other people, but it made him still 0.02 seconds younger than people who remained on Earth,
Right.
which means he effectively traveled into the future.
Yeah.
And that's it about that story. That's that's not alleged, that's like true.
Yeah, it's a real way. The only way we know for real how to time travel is to spend an extended amount of time in space.
Yeah, basically.
Or orbiting the sun. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty cool.
And I have multiple other stories to talk about, such as this world painting. I think it's supposed to be a small Bible and the girl playing. But if you just think about it for a second, it kind of looks like she's holding the damn iPhone.
Did you send it?
Hold on, I'm about to send it. I'm gonna send a zoom in picture. I feel like it's definitely a small Bible though, but like look at it.
Yeah.
It looks
Yeah,
like an
good.
iPhone, does it?
Yeah, kinda, yeah. Some kind of Bible or a little journal or something maybe.
Yeah, it's so funny though, because if you like people, it started trending because people like edited a fucking nice little light screen on it, and it's
Yeah.
like, buh. Outside of the Philadelphia experiment, which I think you're
Oh,
going
yeah.
to talk about because that's like something
Yeah.
you probably know about more than I do. There's one more thing I remembered that it's probably going to be my last thing I want to discuss about. Do you think that this guy right here is a time traveler, or he had some weird fashion sense that made him stick out of place?
Oh, I've seen this photo.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
I've
yeah.
seen this guy.
Yeah. Do you know the story behind it though?
Look at him.
Do you know the story
I'll
behind
be-
this?
Hey.
Maybe I don't remember exactly. I just
Okay.
know that.
I've seen this.
This
picture
guy-
before.
I think this is in Canada, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it is.
So this picture is from they were rebuilding a bridge. They had just opened up a bridge across something in Canada, a big body of water or something. I don't know what it was. So this is like all the townspeople, news people were showing up, like to drive across and walk across the bridge for the first time. Like that's why all the cars and stuff are lined up. This is what I seem to remember. It was something like that. And so this photo was snapped. Look at the girl to the right of the red circle, or the left of the red circle, kind of staring at him. Like the dude in the hat beside of him, kind of side-eyeing him. He looks different from everybody around him. He had like a fleece like style jacket with a hoodie. It looks like a hoodie going down his back, and modernish style sunglasses.
Yeah, the sunglasses was the big part.
So, and like the biggest thing for me is the logo on his shirt. They were all solid shirts, solid colors back then. He had some kind of, it looks like a M or a W or something kind of logo on his shirt.
Yeah, the logo.
There was no real
That's definitely an
logos. There was no logos on shirts and stuff stopped back then that I know, because they all wore the solid suits and ties and
Oh,
shirts.
dude, the suit
Like that's a
tire was
t-shirt.
golden, bro.
Yeah, I know.
It would be lit if we could
I-
wear that shit now.
Yeah.
And be normal. Now you'll be the weirdo for wearing that shit.
But yeah, so he had a
I'm trying to
camera.
be stylish.
He had
Get
a
out here.
modern. If you look down at his hands too, they cover it up with the circle. It kind of made me the camera.
Yo.
Look at the dude's camera in front of him in the hat next to the car. The square-bodied camera-looking thing that looks like a DSLR style camera. The flat body and the scope, the lens pointing forward. Looks like a lens to it. Yeah,
I'd
there's
say
a better picture.
Yeah, the
There's a
screen
bit-
on it.
It's not really a screen. It's just like a long zoom lens style
That
thing with the
girl's
lens.
staring the shit out of him.
Yeah.
Who the hell are you?
And the dude in the glasses next to him kind of side-eyeing him. Like he just looks weird. He's out of place. The camera looks...
His glasses also don't look like actual glasses. It looks like it covers his whole eye.
Yeah, they kind of got the...
Like they got shields on the side.
like the welder shield type something or
Yeah.
another to them. Yeah. They look a little...
Unless it's a shadow.
No,
but
I don't think it's shadow. I
pretty
think...
dark compared to the shadow on his face.
Yeah, there's some kind of shielding or something on there. I think, but yeah, it's this out of place people, time travel ish type out of place
Yo,
people.
bro, I know how to make money.
Yeah.
I know what we could do to make our own story. We
Oh
go
my
get
gosh.
suits and we go stand in a crowd of people.
Yeah, looking like we're from the 40s or something.
Yeah, then we can make our own. Hey, man, what the hell is going on here? I just came here.
I don't speak like a fucking New York,
Oh, my
Boston fucking mafia.
50s New
member.
York and
Mafioso.
Yeah, that's the story I thought you were talking about. Is a little quick hitter right here. There was a guy at Times Square that was disoriented, staggering through the crowd in New York City. This is supposedly in the 90s. He stepped off the curb and got hit by a taxi.
my car. Yeah.
And he had money in his pockets that was from the 1930s and 40s. His ID
yep.
was said it was from the 30s and 40s. Had like some kind of envelope that was mail It was like something had been mailed to him, and the post stamped was 1930s. It's like, why would you carry all this stuff around from in the 90s or the 80s, whatever
it
it
had
is?
money.
Yeah, and had weird clothes on and all this other stuff. I don't know if it's a true story or not. I don't know if it's just lore or a creative story, but I've definitely heard the story. It's very, very cool story.
Yeah. And the thing is, no one really got to talk to him because he got hit by a car.
No, he was disoriented, kind of staggering around like he didn't know what, and he stepped right in front of a dang cab and got hit.
Yeah, he was described wearing a 19th century attire, carrying items from the 1876,
1800s.
such as old currency, business cards, and his wallet. Yeah, struck by a car in Times Square.
Yeah, that's a story I thought you were going to talk about. When you said,
Yeah, I know this one too, real good. The dude just was.
Yeah.
Man, I mean, they didn't have that shit, bro. They had horses and buggies. He probably thought that shit was like, I don't know what. I don't honestly. What would you think of that? If you
He probably looked that shit like, oh shit, a demon.
Yeah. Yeah. Where's the horse? Bap.
He just
Horses is under that damn hood, buddy.
He just gets flung up to this guy, just like
How you drive this damn
20
thing?
cartwheels.
I don't know. Like,
Where's the horses at? Oh, I got 800 horses. Where at?
it makes you
Under
wonder if
this.
he just kind of snapped into place, and that's why he was so disoriented. He just appeared on the street and was
Time blip, bruh.
Yeah, glitched
He
right
blipped.
in. If it was true, if it's true, that's what I would.
Oh,
perceive
you know,
to
be
happen.
just imagine like you time glitch or some shit, and like
Yeah.
you just time glitch and your feet is just inside cement.
Yeah,
Oh.
oof. Yeah.
That would be painful. It's kind of it reminds me of the backrooms type shit. Fucking, there's some people that just glitch through reality and they sometimes just spawn in like the.
How about the
floor
guy that
part of the
like
feet and
is
shit.
on a cell phone in the 40s?
Yeah, there's plenty of those, but I do
Yeah.
have there is a
Here, I got it.
flaw with those stories though, because well, I'll wait until you show me because I don't know exactly which one you're talking about, but there's two famous ones that people are have been debating. One is actual on a movie set and a film. Yeah. I've seen that one too. All right, so you've got that one. Have you seen the one
What,
from?
no, Indiana Jones? Is that the one you're talking about?
Nope. Charlie Chaplin movie, even older, old, black and
Oh.
white silent films.
Yeah.
Have you seen
There-
the woman that's walking? She's got it look like she's holding a cell phone to her ear, just like that.
Mhm.
Yeah,
So-
I know that one too.
Here's the thing. Here's the glitch that they found out that they didn't have hearing aids for deaf people back in those days. That's what they looked like. They would hold them to they would stick a tube in their ear, and the box was amplifying the sound around them so they could hear what's around them better. Those is what they think those were. To kind of put a kink in the story. That's what they think that they had some kind of hearing disability. That it's not a it's not a phone.
You're
It's
talking
got
about this one.
it's got like a tube.
I've seen.
It's got like a tube or
You're talking
whatever
about
that
this
they would
photo right
actually
here.
physically stick in their ear canal, and it would like amplify the sound around them so they could hear.
You talking
Oh,
about
that's
this film
interesting.
right
Do you think
Yes,
like we actually
yes.
have seen such a
That
thing?
the old lady that walks
Yeah.
by.
Like,
She-
do you think there's
it's
like
blurry,
such
but yeah.
examples, like schematics and shit, that prove that those type of things exist?
Yeah.
Because
yeah.
obviously
Yes.
we know
100%.
we have hearing aids,
Yeah.
but like
So
big
it
and
was
bulky
like
is kind of crazy.
1930s hearing device.
Yo, if I was born in 1930s and if I was like I had like almost near Helen Keller syndrome, he was gonna look at me like I'm an idiot. Just imagine like I can't hear somebody, I just slap a brick next to my fucking ear, and I had to hear him
brick.
say, "Hey guys!"
Okay.
Like shit, man. You see that fucking size of some of these fucking things?
Okay, here you
There's-
go. Share your screen. Here you go.
Oh, okay.
So you see
Oh, oh yes.
square
see.
devices.
That was in the 30s?
Don't.
40s.
This is 53. I just typed in old. I think 1940s models. They go all the way back to the 40s, but there are different styles. But yes, that's
What the hell's that guy doing?
that's a fake picture
I was
Or
about to
from-
say.
from a movie set. But
I
I mean,
thought
I'll be
he
like, damn,
needs-
let me hear the moon.
they did have they did have ones that looked something like that. Like, see, 40s.
Oh my god.
Look at that
Oh,
woman
look,
from that picture.
1938.
Yeah. See,
Look at
A
a
bit
bomb.
different, but
yeah,
yeah.
you still could have, like, it could have been in the, like, between the 30s and 40s. It just depends on what she's actually holding in her physical hand. It's kind of hard to see or whatever. But yeah,
Oh my.
that's what
Oh
people
my.
believe that those pictures are. That's what they speculate. But like I said, nobody was there. Nobody knows what it really was. So
Honestly, you know what's funny? I have a real funny idea. If you have a tablet kid, like tablet toddler or some shit that likes playing on their tablets or phones,
yeah.
Mhm.
when you give them a new phone, just send them Matt.
It's a hearing device.
Confused.
It's a hearing
No,
device.
don't even
boy.
explain it. Just let them try to figure out how to fucking use this quote unquote phone.
Uh,
It's just watch him film miserably. I would
Alright.
like, believe it or not, nowadays kids fucking try to swipe for their notebooks like their fucking phone, and I'm
Yeah.
like, what the?
We got
hell?
Andrew Bassigo, the
Right.
Project Pegasus.
That's a good one. That predates that comes after mine though. He had talked about the Philadelphia experiment earlier. I didn't know if you knew anything about that or
I was just saying like you're probably gonna have to explain it because you know that better than I do.
yeah. So this basically was the first time in recorded history that we know of that is relatively proven. There's been stories spun off of this. Whether they be true or not, nobody knows. But that the United States government and military experimented with any kind of manipulation of possible time or visual effects or anything like this. So
Yeah.
in 1943, this is World War II, right? World War One. I think it's. I don't.
I
remember
sent
which
a
one.
link to the
You said 40,
thing.
that's World War II.
World
I
War
sent a
II.
link in chit chat, not
Yeah.
chit chat, podcasting chat.
But they were experimenting with trying to make a naval destroyer not appear on radar, to disappear, whatever.
Oh,
the
I
stuff.
have heard about this one.
So they rigged the ship up with all this equipment, electronic equipment, all this other stuff, and they had a full
It actually vanished.
they had a full naval crew there on board the ship. And they flip the switches, everything on the ship starts buzzing and vibrating and gets really fucking loud, and then it goes quiet. The ship disappears in the middle of the bay. And then it reappears. And the second it reappears, all the bystanders, everybody, all they hear is men screaming at the top of their lungs, screaming for dear life. They run aboard the ship, and people are embedded into the ship. He was talking about that earlier with my story. But what happens if you reappear in the middle of a wall? They were built into the ship. The ship had absorbed them. So like their arms and limbs were sticking out of the walls of the ship and the holes and the floors, and the people that were hurt and stuff like that. Then all this other stuff. They also had the people who weren't attached to the walls and floors had mental issues. They went crazy. Physical stuff. They had just all kinds of stuff.
I think I just found the document for that.
Yeah,
Actual government
everybody
document.
has said that it's a hoax, that it's a fake or whatever, but there's one guy, two people actually, that claim to have been members of the ship that time traveled.
Can y'all see that?
when it happened.
Actually, I literally should have linked to that literally like a few minutes ago.
Oh, this?
Because that's what it is.
Yes, man.
Oh, is that like a timeline of it or something?
I think it's their actual documentation.
Yeah.
Navy documentation.
So they claim it's a hoax, but I'm sure they would claim it's a hoax. But there's two guys that have come forward and claimed to have been on that ship when it disappeared. They panicked when everything started vibrating and shaking. They panicked and thought the ship was going to explode, and they dove off into the water. When they hit the water, everything flashes. When the ship disappeared, they disappeared too, but they were outside the ship. When they washed upon shore, they weren't in Philadelphia anymore. They were in some major, humongous city, massive, futuristic city, and it was like the year 6000 or some shit like that.
Jesus.
They woke up, seen the city, and passed out on the beach. The next thing they know is they woke up in a hospital, or what they perceived to be a hospital room, and it was all like androids, robots working on them. They did, and there was a TV, what they thought was some sort of TV that was talking about like world news that was on the televisions, talking about all this stuff in the world going on. And that's how they figured out it was the year 6000 on the TV. The human beings that finally came into the room, what they perceived to be doctors and nurses, were looking at them. They were burnt. They had burns and radiation burns and crazy burns from the and so they said that we found you and you were dead. We brought you back to life, and they was trying to get to the root of the story. And they start panicking in the hospital room and rip their stuff out to run out of the room. And as they running out of the room, they flash back on to board the ship.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Yeah, that's from the movie. That's fake. That's from the movie.
I guess you can say they made
I
a
assume
boat
so,
made
but
out of
damn.
flesh.
Yeah, that's from the movie they made about the situation.
That's on Prime Video.
Yeah, but there's two guys that are pretty widely famous. No, I don't know how many people believe their story or not, but they claim that that's what happened to them.
But these guys weren't dead instantly?
No, and they had went to two different timelines supposedly. One went to like 4,000 years into the future, and the other one went 6,000 years into the future. But then they were both in very similar situations.
Nikola Tesla helped out. Makes sense.
But
that guy was so close to doing a bunch of shit.
Yeah.
He man mysteriously died too. Yeah.
So that's about all I know off the top of my head from the Philadelphia experiment. That it supposedly was true. They have all this documentation, but the Navy and the military and the government has always denied it. But then stuff leaks, and you don't know if it's real or fake documents these days. But nobody really knows that. But this dude came out in the 70s or 80s with his story that he was on that boat, or maybe even earlier than that he was him and his buddy was on that boat. So I don't know.
Good lord, dude.
Honestly, nowadays, anything could be fucking possible at this
Well,
point.
number one,
with
I
anything.
will never put anything past the government, especially in those days, especially in times of war. Especially in times of war, you try anything to get any kind of advantage in war. I don't care who you are.
And all they were trying to do was hide their shit from radars.
Yeah,
And it fucked everything.
yeah, and it blipped
Because they were
out.
putting too much electrical shit on it.
So
Hell.
is the story overall as an actual incident happening? Yeah, it's believable. Now these guys' story that jumped off the boat and panicked, I believe that they could have jumped off the boat and panicked, but did they time travel because of it? I don't know. I just know
See,
they got their crazy story. Like one of them story from 6000 said the world was ruled by AI, which we're there. It was ruled by AI. Like there was no government. There was no world government. Everything the people wanted, we had to vote on and then present it to AI, and AI made a decision.
Damn.
That's how the world was
Hell
ran.
no.
That's how the world was ran.
Shut this shit down, bro.
AI would do calculations and say, make predictions on what would happen if we chose to do it as people, and what it said was final law. That's how the world was ran.
I got a little bit.
Like that. That's somewhat believable, dude. I mean, I could see that being happening if we keep being slaves to the AI and crap like the way we're
hell
heading.
no. I'll fight those clankers until the day I die.
Clankers. But yeah,
I'm telling you, I'm a bit of reason.
But here's the thing: he said this before AI was a thing.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Dude, they barely even had computers.
Yeah. So it's like for him to say this and whatever, it's like it's fascinating. And then here we are in today's time with the basically.
Matter of fact, how did he even know what AI was?
Yeah.
AI wasn't even like a thing.
Nope.
Until like the 80s.
Nope. So that's what I'm saying. It's like for the fact that here we are at the birth of the AI in real life, and it's like, oh shit, is another
Terminator, baby.
Another 4,000 years is it gonna be ruling us? Get to the chopper. Oh, that's the wrong movie.
That's the wrong movie.
I did that on purpose, just so you know.
No, that movie, I'll be back.
I wanted to fuck with you because you were doing the Terminator, and I was like, no, that's not the best movie he's ever done. I still think Predator is, but they're both great. They're both great.
Honestly, I was just fake. I had something in my head and I forgot. Really.
Our Schwarzenegger jokes killed it. All right, so
Ellen claimed to have witnessed this experiment while serving aboard the SS Andrew Forsyth. And Ellen's account, the destroyer escort was successful and made invisible.
It was the Eldridge. The Eldridge was the ship that they vanished.
Yeah. I want to. Okay, I remember now what I was gonna say.
Unexpectedly teleported to Norfolk, Virginia, and for several minutes, the reappearance in the Philadelphia yard ship's crew was supposed to suffer various side effects, including insanity, instability, and being frozen in place. God.
Yeah. And imagine this put yourself in this shit. Like another thing that's being believable about this to me is knowing what the government has done in the past and possibly whatever, I don't know, but you know, to people and the military people, they were guinea pigs in a lot of these things. They told you,
they would just drug them up as much as they could.
Well, they told you, as a military unit, your ship's supposed to be here. You cannot leave ship. What are you supposed to do? You're stuck. And then they do this experiment on you. You can't leave or abandon. I mean, you could have, I guess, but then you'd just be court-martialed and put in prison for the rest of your life. So it's like, and they...
Not only that, dude, they'd shove needles in you and shit.
Yeah, all the experiments and crazy stuff they did on our own military and our own people. Yeah, so is it believable on that aspect? Yeah, there's a lot of believability to the story overall. It's just a matter of what you got to take these guys at their word, what they say happened to them when they jumped off the ship, if they was even on ship to begin with. I don't even know if that's been proven. I don't know if there's they would have documents saying that that's the sailors that were on this ship when it happened, and if they're there, then it leads a little bit of credibility. But you still don't know if it's true what they say happened if they did jump off. Nobody knows that. But what I find fascinating is, like I said, the one guy who said that the world is ruled by AI before all that. The fact that he said that back then is very fascinating to me.
Yeah, I got another little short story.
But there was, just to take away from the story just a little bit, there was movies and films about robot monsters and stuff back in the 40s and 50s, and so that he could have stolen ideas from that and just projected robots.
Yeah, poo-poo, but yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, even as a creative idea, he could have faked it. But to use the coin term AI, I don't know about all that. I just know that it's very possible that he could be faking the story. It could be true. I don't know, but it's a fascinating story. Anyway, sorry, Nick.
So, to further give credence to the fact that the government is full of crazy motherfuckers, one word only, and it's a modern, not one word actually, it's two words, but it's modern, it's very recent. Epstein files Enough said.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd like to know
So-
how many. That's all. I just want to know how many of the dang government officials are involved.
Right.
Yeah, that's
Alright.
fucking insane.
I got another one. Pan Am Flight 914. Ever heard of it?
It rings
Pan
a,
Am Flight
it rings a bell.
914.
Rings a bell.
Did you pull that out of your ass?
914. No. Pan Am Flight 914 disappeared after takeoff in 1955, only to land again 3 decades later.
Oh. Okay.
The Pan Am Douglas DC 4 with 57 passengers, 5 crew members disappeared shortly after takeoff in New York to Miami. On July 2nd, 1955, after 37 years, the plane was sighted again near Carcass, and then after it landed at the airport, the airlines tried to communicate with the pilot, and the pilot said, we just needed to arrive in Miami at 9:56. After realizing the plane immediately took off, never to be seen again. There are speculations, among other things, as to whether it had been a journey through time or through a wormhole. It was from an article in 1985 in the Weekly World News. Article was republished in 1993 and 1999. The image of the plane is a stock photo. And that's about it. So it took off from New York to Miami, vanished. 37 years later, it landed in Carcass. What the hell's that?
I don't know. I have to see it to see if you're pronouncing it
What
right.
the?
You have a problem with pronunciation, so I don't know if you're saying it right.
Venezuela
Okay.
is a country. So it flew, in a sense, 30 years, flew past Miami.
I think
When it landed,
that's what's going to
Pilot.
happen to the Malaysia flight. It's going to blip back in one of these days.
oh, I heard about that one too.
Yeah.
Oh
They
my
still ain't
God.
found. They still ain't found. They still ain't found the plane or any kind of thing from it. It's gonna blip back in and land somewhere. All these Malaysia flight people. I mean, who knows?
Could you imagine though, 37 years later, at the time, damn, was it
Now,
30-year-old plane?
What I
Hey
yeah,
man,
I mean,
where
that's
the
true
hell
too.
did you come from?
I'd like to be.
And all the
it's-
pilot says is, we just needed to arrive at Miami at 9:56, and it just disappears, takes off
Can you
again.
imagine being
Wait.
a passenger? That would being a passenger stuck on that thing. Hey,
Oh my God.
I've been on an 18-hour flight, let alone 37 years. God. But to them, it probably,
Yeah.
if it's true, they probably have no.
A wormhole open, yeah.
Yeah.
What'd you say
Well, the Malaysian flight is the one that's still been gone, Andrew. That's new. But they ain't never found anything that I know of. A couple pieces probably, so that makes it not a time travel story, but disappear. But I was just saying, it's it's the same concept. Well, you talking about the same of a plane happening. There's a documented. There's a one that's documented too. Was that plane landing in Venezuela? Is that documented? They have proof or stuff of it happening, or was it just a story you saw? Because this guy's got documentation story on him. The one I was getting ready to tell about another plane. It was a single engine plane. Well, could have been a twin engine Cessna, but it was private plane. Private pilot.
it does have documentation
So yeah.
of Pan Am and Civil Aeronautics Board accident reports.
Hmm.
It was featured in the Weekly World News.
Yeah, so that's incredible. I just can't put myself in that. Looking out the window, you land or whatever, and then like, where the heck are we? This ain't where we're supposed to be. Let alone this ain't the time we're supposed to be in. You wouldn't even. I don't even know if you would know that. The pilots up front, Well, I mean, you would know that looking out. You see what futuristic planes or something like by comparison to what you're looking or you're used to seeing. But the pilot would know instantly this ain't Miami,
Right.
and see the modern air, the modernish airplane towers and whatever the radar towers and stuff in there, whatever those people are called, control towers. To see all the modern style stuff, the pilot would know instantly. That's why I think he was kind of in shock if he said that we were supposed to land in Miami at this time and then get the heck out of there. That makes a little bit of sense because he would know instantly something's wrong. I'm
He
scared
didn't
to
want to be
death.
late.
I'm scared to death, Yeah, or even possibly I landed at the wrong thing. What happened, So yeah, that kind of, as a characteristic of a human being, makes sense.
Oh my God, though, like imagine though, like you're like freaking out. Oh shit, I'm gonna get fired. I'm late.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yo, I gotta go to Miami, bro. You just take off,
Yeah.
and then you take off, and then you just disappear forever.
Yeah.
Like, are those guys still traveling, or what?
Yeah.
What the hell's going on?
Yeah.
Like, I just
Well, I mean, if
so crazy.
they were in Venezuela trying to get to Miami without fueling up, then they probably ended up in the ocean somewhere, never to be seen
Yeah.
again. That's what I would
That's
say.
true. That too. But they've never found the plane or anything.
Yeah.
It was a 4-engine turbine plane. The prop pillars on the side.
Yeah. Old school. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Well, yeah, it had to be 1955. Douglas DC-4. I'll screenshot it. The
I
only
think-
photo.
I think those are the planes that the famous skyjacker robbed. What's his name? Stole money and parachuted out.
Oh, I know what you're
DC
talking about.
Cooper.
Yeah, I don't know. It might have been.
That's why I love those stories. I think if it's the
I
same,
got you some
I think it's the same plane,
Oh yeah, here's the
same style.
news clipping.
I gotta
Oh
use
my
I
God,
gotta use the
dude, that would
bathroom.
be
You're
so
taking
crazy.
forever.
Scroll through all this bullshit.
Oh,
And
my-
send. Ta-da! There you go. There's photos.
Yeah. Those are the same style planes that the Cooper guy robbed. He would dive out the back. There's a load hatch.
wait.
Where they used to load stuff in and out.
This is American Airlines?
So yeah.
Yeah. Dude, hell no. There ain't no freaking way. I wouldn't even fly today. Ain't no way I'll jump on this metal coffin, dude. Look at that shit. It looks like it looks like a pot can flying through the air.
Plane took off from New York. Wish you could zoom in slower. Can't really read that. 1958? Is that what this is? Yeah, I can't.
1955.
Yeah, it's so blurry and small. I can't read it, and you zoom in. And
Yeah,
it's
it
just even
is. It is.
more. But that's
I can't see it on this.
that's
photo
pretty
either.
cool. Pretty cool.
Let me blow it up.
Pretty cool story. So that reminds me of another one. This is in the 1970s, and it's got multiple conspiracies with it, but the biggest one we're talking about is time and time travel and time glitches. If I could spit it out. So 1970, pilot Bruce German experienced a time-bending event in the Bermuda Triangle. So it's got Bermuda Triangle to it. It's got times. Witnessing he was flying on a routine path around the triangle coming back. He witnessed a storm forming in front of him. It was a rapidly forming swirling white electric fog is how he described it. And he tried to fly over it and it followed him. It just kept like the fog swirl. It just kept going. No matter where he went, it would face his plane like it was a tentacle just to eat him up. So he had no choice but to fly through it. It kept swirling around his plane, and like a tunnel opening up a vortex, which caused every instrument in his plane to malfunction. His plane flew. Then, when he came out of the other side of the tunnel, he had flown over 100 miles in a plane in 47 minutes
Good Lord.
and used no gas, hardly no gas.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So the plane took
Sorry.
only 47 minutes, and that he's on radar. He's on everything, his flight path, everything. His time he took off and the time landed took 47 minutes, and it was supposed to, the trip was allotted for 75 minutes, which is an hour and 15 minutes, and it took 47 minutes. He had jumped forward 100 miles in his journey. 100 miles was taken off the plane. It still had all that gas left in the plane. It's electric fog, space-time warp fog.
Probably a wormhole, bro.
Yeah, like a wormhole opened up in the Bermuda Triangle. So that was kind of like a little bit of a time glitch, and it's related to the plane story. Swirling fog. It's weird to me. This guy's got, he's done interviews for years about this significant thing. All right, I'll do a little quick hitter then. So I don't even know the year. I seen it in a video one time, and I thought it was very, very cool and interesting. So these 4 girls, college girls, was driving through the Nevada, and I don't know if they were going to one of them's house or going back to school or what. They were driving through Nevada, through the desert, and they go through, there's a part that goes through some canyons, like windy canyons, and the canyons start coming in on the road a little bit. So they're in a cutaway, basically, through the canyons. And for some reason, they either decided, I see that's the problem with telling these stories, is I don't remember enough about them, but I just want to get to the fascinating part. But whatever happens, they either try to turn around because they think they're lost, or try to take a shortcut or something like that. And when the canyon opens back up around them, it's green. Everything is green, like forests, instead of being in the desert. Yeah.
That's crazy.
And they start kind of panicking or whatever. They don't know what the hell's going on. And they see like a roadside cafe, like type thing, a bar or something. So we'll pull in there and get directions. We'll pull in there and see what's going on. They're kind of freaking out, and they pull into the parking lot, and all the cars in the parking lot look like little eggs, like drivable round shaped, bubble shaped cars. And as they're pulling in, they see the cars and like, what in the heck is all this? The doors open to the place, and like several guys are coming out of this bar, and they look at them and see their car and look back at their car, and so they start walking up to them to try to talk to them, and they panic and drive off like squall tires out of just driving back towards the canyon. And they look back and they see single headlights flying at them. These little egg-shaped cars got one headlight in the middle, and they're flying up to chase them down this canyon. And they're flying through the canyon as fast as they could go, getting chased by these people. Through the like I said, the canyon narrows in on them. And this time, when it opens back up, they're back in the desert again, but they lose control of their car and run off the road. It breaks their axle, busts all their tires, and they're scared to death. They cut off the engine and leave the headlights, and they feel like they're hiding from these people in the dark, but they never see any more headlights. Sunrise comes.
Headlights.
They stay in the car all night long. Sun comes up the next morning, and they knew it's going to get hot because they're in the desert. So they kind of start panicking and need to try to walk for help before it gets too hot and see what we could find. And they run upon a sheriff, luckily, on this highway, and the sheriff brings the girl back to her car to get the other 2 people. And the first thing he notices is there's no skid marks, there's no tire tracks. It's like the car had just been placed in its position, like dropped in its position. And that's the story that the girls told to the police. I don't know if it's true or not, but I know the cop very clearly says it didn't slide off the road. There's no skid, there's no tire tracks leading. It's just dropped into this spot that it broke down. I don't know. It's a quick hitter. I don't know much about it other than the story itself, but I think it's pretty cool. Pretty cool if it's true. Saw egg-shaped one headlight cars chasing them down.
Well, you ever heard of the London Hammer?
I don't think so. No, that'll ring a bell.
Well, it was a hammer made of iron and wood that was found in London, Texas in 1936.
Oh,
Part of the hammer,
is that the one that's stuck in the rocks?
yeah,
Yeah.
it was part of the hammer was embedded into a rock concretion, leading to some regards as an anomalous artifact. The tool is identically to the late 19th century mining hammers. One theory is its encasement in a rock is that it was disposed of a highly salutable Taran may have formed and hardened around it within the relatively short time.
So it's either encased in the rock because that takes forever to grow around it, and it took shorter time than it should have, or the rock formed faster than it should have around the hammer.
100 million old artifact.
It's crazy.
Freaking wild, bro. It looked like something you get out of Minecraft.
Yeah.
Bink, bink, bink.
They were playing Minecraft for real, and the block ate them.
Hell yeah.
The whole world famous man from Tarad. I think I've already talked about that in one of these episodes.
Rod.
The man from Tarad or whatever it is. I don't know. Tehran. I don't know how to pronounce it. I can't remember. I ain't seen the story. I ain't actually seen the story in forever, but I've heard about it and seen it before. The dude that lands in the airport in Japan. It's like in I think this is the 50s, maybe the 60s. Lands in the airport.
All this shit happened in the 50s and 60s.
Yeah,
I guess
that's pretty weird too. It's pretty weird too. But he lands in the air.
Because we
lands
had
in
more
Japan.
documentation.
He lands in Japan.
Capabilities.
Lands in Japan and gets off, and he's going through customs with his passport, and they pull him. I think his passport's fake. He's in a business suit and got everything else, and then they call him back in the room and bring in his passport and they tell him that it's fake and it's stamped. The passport has all the stamps. The stamps are real. Everything's real, but the country on the passport does not exist. So they bring him a map and say, "Show us where you're from." And he points to this. In real life, in our world, there's a little bitty tiny country between France and Spain. It's a real life country now. That's where he points to, but it's not the correct name. He calls it Tehran or Tehran. I can't.
I've heard this story on
and
podcast
it's a different name in our world today. And he can't figure it out. He's like, "What? This is a fake map." And they're like, "No." Like the look on his face is believable. He's in panic because he can't find his home country where he's supposedly from. And he gets scared. Yeah, he gets scared. And like, okay, so why are you're trying to calm him down? Why are you here? They think he's a spy, which is also very possible in those times. And
he's
then
like a business realtor or something.
Yeah, say, "Why are you here?" And he's like, "Well, I got business with this company and this company, and those companies exist." So they call those companies. And they're like, "Do you have a meeting today with this man?" "No, we've never heard of him." "Okay, well, he claims he's here in this country on business and have business with you guys. We've never heard of him. We don't have no business with him."
Don't he have like business cards and stuff?
Yeah, he has all this stuff, all this documentation, everything on him. So they take all his stuff, they take everything from him, and like, "Well, we can't figure out what's going on. We're gonna hold you. We ain't gonna take you to jail. We're gonna put you up in a hotel, and keep you there until we can figure out why you're here and what's going on." So they put him on like a fifth story hotel room, and put a cop at his door, armed guard at his door to not let him leave. And everybody goes home for the night. They're trying to the investigators try to do all this background. They've done everything they can do on this man. They can't find anything. Nothing makes sense. No businesses know where he's from. No nothing. The next morning comes, they go to relieve the cop. The cop's at the door. He said, no, he's been in there all night. I heard him snoring earlier. I heard a couple noises before that. And now there's nothing. They knock on the door, no answer. They bang on the door, no answer. They go get the hotel security or hotel receptionist comes up, opens the door, and he's nowhere to be found. Completely vanished in the middle of the night. They go back to the police station. They took all his shit into evidence. All his stuff from the police station is gone. Vanished.
Yeah. Yeah, you are right. It was Taurod.
Yeah.
Taurd.
That's a
1954.
54. Yeah. It's a fascinating story.
Caucasian
Is
man
it
with a
true?
beard.
Yeah. Is it true? Who knows? Is it just internet lore, internet like form of creepypasta, but time travel pastas? I don't know. I don't know what it would be called to not be a creepypasta if it's just internet stories.
Yeah.
I'm gonna call them time travel pastas because I mean I don't know. I don't know what else to
He
call it.
pointed on a map between France and
Spain,
Spain,
yeah.
and as his home, he possessed authentic-looking stamps from previous trips and had hotel business bookings that did not exist. He disappeared from the guarded hotel rise room. Some thinks that he hindered a dimensional travel.
Yeah.
Interdimensional travel
And his timeline and his dimension, whatever,
was not ours.
that country really existed, and he really had business in Japan, but somehow glitched into ours and the plane ride here. Yeah, that was another thing that somebody had said, or something I had seen one time said that nobody on the plane remembered seeing him get on. They just seen him get off. Like, what the fuck? Mid-flight, he disappears. And what happened to the person that he was in the seat with? Did they go to his timeline? Whoa, shit. They just swap positions? Like, oh, shit.
God. That'd be terrifying.
Or was he lucky and just appeared in an empty seat? I mean, who knows? But if it's even true, like I said, it's a great, cool story.
Oh my god. Yeah, here's the
Don't
they
say
have a
say
picture of
actual
his-
because it could be fake.
yeah, I did. They have a picture of the ID. United Kingdom of Tarar.
Yeah, I don't know, but I don't know if it's real or not. But Tarad,
Yeah.
Tarid. I think it's actually Tarid. Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, they all thought he was a spy until he fucking disappeared.
Well,
What? Where'd he go?
why does that say September 1988? I thought it was in the 50s. That's fake. That's the current date. Oh, okay. That's his live passport. Okay, so he's at least 38 years old in this picture that's all kind of jacked up. I guess that's somewhat believable. Okay. Date of issue, or is that date of birth? Date of issue. Date of death. I don't know what the hell that is. I can't read that. It doesn't make any sense. It looks like
Departure.
look like they purposely photoshopped it to get it to make it jack up.
Yeah, or it could say date of departure.
Jennison Fur.
Berhodrick.
Berhodrick.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if it's true story or not. I have no clue. I just know it's a famous.
That's the only photo.
It's a famous
of the
story.
guy.
Famous story of some kind, truth or not. I like the stories whether they're true or not. I like the true ones even better. The ones with evidence even better. But free to see.
Mike Madman Markham.
Dude, that's a great story, bro. I love that.
That was.
I love that story so much. And like I said,
Oh man,
there's that.
I'm kind of hoping my story came
You
out.
have the actual Art Bell radio, like the actual audio from the shows. All 3 shows that he was on have archived episodes of him being on there, and the stuff he talks about is 100% provable. the scientific proof and that the way he was doing stuff is real. Does that did that there were scientists quoted as saying if time travel is real, this guy's on the right path. And then he disappears for 29 years.
God.
And that's the thing, and that was the scary thing about it is, and it's not that he went anywhere. It's just that people he disappeared from our world. Like he was still here, but people couldn't perceive him anymore. Like he had to fight it. That's scary, dude.
They figured out what the logo was on that guy's shirt. It was the shirt resembles one worn by the Monorail Maroons, an ice hockey team.
The Canadian
era.
Bridge guy. Okay.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. Very interesting. What about a little personal story? What about something that really happened to me?
Oh,
Yeah.
that's interesting.
1996. It was in 1996 or 1997. I was 16, 17 years old. One of the first jobs I ever had. I think it was technically the second job that I ever had. So I worked at Steak and Shake, is a restaurant. If anybody doesn't know what that is, it's just it's a restaurant. It's kind of 1950s. Here we go with that theme again. Ish interior, looks like an old cafe, the checkerboards and everything.
I love that interior, by the way.
And they got
I said I love interior like that anyway.
Yeah. So that's my job. And so I was still living at home with my mom. It's just the house that we just showed you that Andrew was at last weekend.
Yeah.
And so I get ready to go to work. I'm 45 years old now. In my entire life, so I've been working since I was 16. I have never once, for any reason, ever been late to work, except for one day. And it's this day that I'd like to talk about because I still don't know what happened. I have no clue. I don't know. It scares me because it bothers me. I don't have no memory of it. I don't have anything. I don't have any explanation whatsoever. I left my house with plenty of time to get to work. I took the back roads. That's where my mom lived. It's a back road, curvy road all the way through to connects to another, like a Highway 52 here in Madison County. And then there's another side road that goes underneath the interstate to the back road, takes you to that exit there. That's the one that I took instead of going all the way down Lancaster and then to the bypass. Took that little side road to go underneath. Well, there's a tunnel that goes underneath the interstate. And it's a long tunnel. It's probably, I want to say, I don't know, 50, 60 feet, maybe more. It doesn't sound long, but when you look at it, it's a pretty decent sized tunnel. And it goes down to one car length. So you have to look and see if anybody's coming the other way and wait for them and then go. No traffic. I'm going to work. I get to the tunnel, and I remember going into the tunnel. Like nothing ever happened. I come out of the other side of the tunnel, and I proceed to go to work. When I get to work, I'm getting ready to get out of my truck at the time. I stopped, get ready to cut the motor off, and I look at the radio. I don't know why. I looked at my radio, but a good song came on, something, and I noticed it was an hour and a half past the time that I was supposed to be. I was an hour and a half late for work. No reason why I should have been an hour and a half late. Still to this day, I have no clue why it took me over an hour and a half to get from my mom's house to work when it's probably a 15 to 20 minute drive. No idea, no clue what happened. 100% true, 100% somewhere in my work records is proven because I got wrote up. And it's the only time that I've ever been written up at any job that I've ever worked in my entire life. So somewhere there's paper documents of that within, if they still have my employee records at Steak and Shake. I have no clue why. What caused it? What happened? No memory. Nothing weird happened. Nothing. I didn't see no weird stuff. It's just like I went into the tunnel, I came out of the tunnel. Somewhere in between. It may not even have happened there. I just know that's the only spot that everything's visually gone from you, that you're focused on driving through the end of the. That's the only spot that I can think of that something could have happened.
Yeah.
Because nothing else around me changed. The radio, I don't remember the radio changing, like skipping forward. I don't remember anything like that. I don't remember. I never noticed the time until I got ready to get out of the truck, and I'm like, what happened to my truck? I thought my battery had died or something, and the clock had messed up in the truck. I was like, I thought something like that had happened. Maybe my alternator's going out and it's causing my battery to glitch out. I was like, I didn't think nothing about it until I walk in, and instantly my manager is screaming on my ass as soon as I hit the front door. I'm like, what are you talking about? I even looked at their clock. And the clock on the wall matched the clock in my truck, and I knew instantly I was over an hour and a half late and have no reason why. So, I mean, I have to take the ride up.
What'd you tell him?
I said, I don't know why I'm late. I had to take the ride up because what other explanation do I have? None that makes any sense to an employer. Number one, they don't give a shit. They just wanted you there. And even if I told him I glitched out of reality, I don't know what happened. I was just late. Like, who's going to believe that?
Hit you with a drug test.
Yeah. Who's going to believe that? Even the fact I don't know that that's what happened. I just know that physically my time stopped and everything around me moved forward an hour and a half. And then I came back an hour and a half late. That's what I know. That's all I know.
I have a question.
All right, here's another thing.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Before you ask, no, my butthole did not hurt. I was not abducted and probed.
No.
I was not abducted and probed.
I was just gonna ask. Back then, did they do daylight saving?
Yeah, they've always done that. It's just this was summer. It's definitely summertime. It was definitely summertime.
There's like 2 times in a year that the hour
the time
switches.
changes, right? But no, I don't remember it being. I feel like this was like July or August when this was happening. If anything, we fall back and then spring forward. This was definitely not fall or spring. I remember it being summertime. I just don't remember what exactly it was. I remember it being summertime because that's why my boss was so pissed at me, because my job for that day was working what they called fountain, which was milkshakes. My first job at that store was doing milkshakes. I eventually got trained on everything in the store and could have ran the store, but I was too young to have my own store, so it pissed me off and I quit the company. But literally, you have to take proficiency tests, or you used to, at Speedway. You have to be proficient in order to get your pin. Like you ever seen their name tags? They got the big black sheet. It looks like military badges. They're actual pins. You have to be proficient in every job. You have to pass these tests. I had a proficiency in every job in the whole entire store. I was the only person in the store to have that. But it was my job to work fountain, what they called fountain, which is milkshakes and all the desserts and stuff. I had to do all that. It was my job that day, and it was summertime. It was hot. People were coming through the drive-thru ordering, 4 and 5 milkshakes at a time, and there was nobody there. They had to cover my ass, and that's 90% of the reason he was pissed.
Right.
I still have zero explanation whatsoever. Zero. I don't know what happened. I said I didn't see any anomalies. I didn't feel any anomalies. Didn't realize anything till I'm getting out of the truck. No idea.
That's wild shit.
Yep.
Man. What do you think about déjà vus?
What if you just had like a reverse time dilation?
Yeah, space-time continuum through the tunnel. I don't know.
Oh,
the tunnel is so
what
dark.
about déjà vu, bro?
It fucked with time or some shit.
Deja vu is crazy.
I get that shit all the time.
You don't know
a lot of times.
You don't know what's even crazier is experiencing deja vu and calling it out mid-sentence to somebody.
Calling it.
I've done that
I've done that so many times. Yeah.
Yeah, so many times.
I swear. Like, and sometimes I'll realize in my head, and I'll just let it play out.
Yeah.
I'll just see if it really happens the way I remember. Like, this is what it's about to happen. And it'll do it. And I'm like, what the hell is this?
Yeah.
And you search it up, and no one has really any explanation.
No, it just happens.
Of how. Like, dude, you'd be like, you walk through a store, and you'll pick something up. Oh, shit. I've had that happen before.
Yeah.
Like, it's the wildest shit ever.
Weird
Like, it'll
shit,
happen
man.
at work or like fucking driving.
Yeah. I've had full blown conversations with people, and just like when they start talking, just start saying what they're gonna
I
say
had
before
deja
they
vu.
say, like while they're saying it.
Yeah.
Like you're reading their mind as they're forming the thought in the sentence. You're saying it with them, and they're like,
Weirded
it
out.
just happened. I'm not psychic, I promise. It's just this conversation has happened in my head somewhere before, and I can't explain it.
No. I would lie. I would lie saying, "Hey, I'm a psychic. I know
Hell
what you're
no.
about to say. You're gonna die by a
Yeah,
car
fuck-
crash."
Fuck that. I don't like fucking with people that hard. Yeah.
No, but yeah, I've had that a lot, and I don't like a lot.
Yeah.
And I'll call it out in my head, or like I'll say it out loud. Damn, I've had this happen before. It's deja vu.
Yeah.
Like, yo, I just had the craziest deja vu, and it'll like be random shit.
But the weird thing with deja vu is you don't know it's deja vu until it happens in the moment. Like when you're in the moment and it's
Yeah, and
happening, you realize it. The problem that I have had, it's been probably about 30 to 40 times in my entire life, is the prophetic dreams. Like I will go to sleep and have a dream, and within 3 to 4 days, that dream happens exactly like I dreamed it, to a T.
Damn.
It's never nothing major. It's never nothing life changing like lottery numbers or something shit like that. It's never anything important.
Damn it.
But it's stuff like that, and so I know it going in, and it's really fucking weird.
That guy over there, he's time skipping through time. All right, that's gonna be it for this podcast of Midnight Enigma. Hopefully y'all enjoyed. Got to a lot of topics today. We did the time travel, time manipulation, time skips, time blips, time lips, rips, and wormholes and theories and all that stuff. Stories of real true events that could happen or just stories. But a lot of it's pretty cool. So hopefully you enjoyed this episode of the Midnight Enigma Time Travel Edition, and hopefully I'll be back in the next video or next podcast. Hopefully y'all enjoyed. Thank you guys so much for watching. I greatly appreciate all y'all that tune in here every week or whenever we post these. And yeah, hopefully y'all enjoy it, and let us know what y'all think in the comments below. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. This has been Midnight Enigma Time Travel Edition.
Time travel edition.
Bye
See y'all in the
bye.
next
See
episode.
you in the future.
Peace.
See
See you in the future. Now fuck off.
ya. He remembered.